It's Monday, August 26th, and welcome to the weekend roundup where Jack McMullen and I, Peter Apple, are going to go through every series from the past weekend. We're going to give you a summary and then we're going to give you a takeaway. But before we get into that, two congratulations are in order. Number one, Lake Mary Little League winning their first ever Little League World Series down in the state of Florida, taking on Chinese Taipei and keeping that Little League World Series right here in the great United States of America.
I never thought patriotism would make its way into the Little League World Series, but here we are. And I don't blame the catcher for Chinese Taipei one bit. I mean,
Why
that's
would you?
classic
Nobody's
bunt play. You think if somebody's covering first base, so
also
you throw it to first base.
how about small ball winning it all? It was
Yeah,
always small
it's
ball.
back.
It's back.
I
We're
can't
back.
wait to see Aaron Judge bunt tomorrow. That'll be awesome.
Well, we're going to talk about all the home runs that he hit this weekend. But before we do, again, another congratulations goes out to Griffin freaking Conine getting called up by the Miami Marlins. Arum's dear childhood friend, son of Jeff Conine, gets the call after raking at AAA. He will make his debut in a few days. Did I hear that he's not making it until the series against the Rockies on? Is he going to play that first game?
Well, they get going. So he's meeting the team in Denver. They get going with that series on Monday. So I'm not sure if he's going to be in the lineup on Monday, but I think Tuesday is Cal Quantrill. So we could get Cal Quantrill, Griffin Conine. And that loser needs to shoot Peter a 5-minute FaceTime. Is that how that works?
I think so. I think that makes sense. But we have some series to round up, and it is all brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Remember, folks, download BetMGM, whether it be on iOS or Android, and use code JustBaseball. Why? You get a first bet offer back up to $1,500 in bonus bets. So we're going to download BetMGM, use code JustBaseball, and then your first wager, if it loses, you get that amount that you put on it back in bonus bets. And if it wins, congratulations. You won a bet. But remember, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply. Jack, you got 7 series. I got 8, and we're going to end it with Sunday Night Baseball.
Yes, sir. And we are going to start in Atlanta with Nats Braves. It was a 2-1 series win for Atlanta. Game 1 went to the Braves 3-2. Michael Harris with a leadoff homer against Mackenzie Gore in the bottom of the first. Harris bounced a 2-out ground ball to C.J. Abrams in the 10th, but Abrams spiked the throw. The throwing air walked it off for Atlanta. Sale, 7 innings, a 2-run ball. He only K'd 4, but 7 innings, a 2-run ball. Mackenzie Gore, 6 innings, 1 run, 4 Ks. So the only run against Gore came on the first hitter that he saw in Michael Harris. Game 2, 4-2 Atlanta. It was the Jose Tena game. Tena 3 for 4 with the first homer of his career. It was a 2-run shot. That was the only run production for Washington. Orlando Arcia, Ramon Laureano both went yard for Atlanta. Washington was 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. But Tena, dude, freaky hands, and he showed those off on that pull side home run. Game 3, Washington salvaged the series. It was a 5-1 Nats win. Tied 1-1 after 6. Then a wild pitch, a double from Jacob Young, and a single from Abrams made it 4-1 in the top of the 7th. Reynaldo Lopez, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. DJ Hers, man, 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs. He K'd 8. By the way, in this one, the only run for Atlanta was a Matt Olson solo homer. Do you know what number home run on the season it was for him?
22.
22. So if Matt Olson has a good last month of the season by his standards, we could be talking about a in piss down year for Matt Olson, and it's a 30 homer season.
Yeah, the thing is, it's a 30 homer season, but it's also an OPS that is still below league average. It's
No
a
doubt.
batting average that's not very good. It's the slugging percentage that is still below league average. So I'm sure a Braves fan that hears that Matt Olson make it to 30 home runs is kind of saying, who cares? Where was the rest of the offense kind of the entire year? Which then brings me into my takeaway. Thank the good Lord that Michael Harris is okay after getting hit on the hand.
Mhm.
And he got x-rays. The fear was it was a fractured hand. And this is a guy who has already dealt with injuries this season.
This is less than a week removed from Austin Riley fracturing his hand on a hit by pitch.
Exactly. And a Braves offense that has just been riddled with injuries all season long. You look at the current Braves lineup and you say to yourself, this ain't the Braves that we were hoping to see on opening day when that lineup was loaded with superstars. So to have Michael Harris, he's okay. X-rays came back negative. That is my big takeaway, because I didn't have tons of takeaways about the Nationals. The Braves are still winning in these low scoring games because their starting pitching is still fantastic. Their bullpen is still fantastic, but this team just cannot figure out to generate offense consistently. So if they were to lose Michael Harris, that might have been a dagger to the heart, but luckily the dagger completely missed the chest altogether and we're okay.
You didn't have a single Tana takeaway. This guy, I think, had 3 batted balls, 105 plus on
Okay,
Saturday.
we'll take that.
He's
Did
legit.
you?
He's legit. He's a real utility guy at the big league level.
Okay, but expand on that a little bit more. Like, if you're a Nationals fan and you're seeing this, a guy that you probably hadn't really heard of before he got moved over to the Nationals, right? Because he was a trade candidate.
No, he was traded. It was him, Alex Clemmie, and then another lower level guy for Lane Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
So he was, the proximity guy that was returned for Lane Thomas. Tana is a guy that has gotten rave reviews for his makeup at a very young age, making his way through the Guardian system. He was always kind of playing second fiddle to Brian Rocchio, who was coming up at the same time. A guy by the name of Aaron Bracho at the lower levels was a bigger money IFA signing. So he was always kind of viewed in a higher regard until, I don't know, the last 2 years or so. But Tana has climbed level by level. And this guy has some of the freakier hands that you'll find in a guy of this build. Like he's a small guy. He does not look like he can hit 15 homers in an MLB season, 20 homers. He can hit 15 to 20 homers in a big league season if he plays that much. There are some defensive questions, but like they found a guy that is going to be on their roster and playing 120, 140 games every year, I think, for the Washington Nationals for the next half decade.
You telling me this guy's better wrists than Lane Thomas?
He's got pretty good wrists. Good wrists.
Check out the wrist plus on Jose Tena.
I think it's a 110 wrist plus. But let's go to the next series here. This is Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, 4-game set. Pirates take it after heroics on Sunday afternoon. But we start on Thursday. That was 7-0 Pittsburgh. A 6th spot in the bottom of the 5th chased Nick Lodolo, who left with a 4.76 ERA. 9 Ks, 2 hits in 4 2/3. But the walks, man. If that guy's not finding the strike zone, I mean, he beats himself so easily. Paul Skeens does not. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 9 Ks. This was back to Skeens after 2 blips. Yasmani Grandal homered. Brian De La Cruz, 3 RBIs on a bases clearing double. Game 2, 6-5 Pittsburgh. Cincinnati, 4 runs in the top of the 4th. Pittsburgh responded with 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Tyler Stevenson homered. Santiago Espinal had a 3-hit day, but Brian De La Cruz again a multi-RBI day. Game 3 was a clunker for the Buccos, but it was a 10-2 win for Cincinnati. Happy debut to Julian Aguilar. Aguilar, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs as the Cincinnati Red starter. Both those runs came on a 2-run homer from Rowdy Tellez. Jake Woodford was left out there for 8 runs and 3 1/3. Ellie had a 3-for-4 day. He drove in 2, scored 3 runs. Spencer Steer had a 2 RBI day. Rowdy Tellez with a scoreless 9th. Very important. Rowdy Tellez on the hill. And then game 4, 4-3 Pirates. Yasmani Grandal, bottom of the 9th off Alexis Diaz, a walk-off 2-run home run to flip a 3-2 Reds lead to a 4-3 Pirates win. Alexis Diaz, by the way, ERA on the year sits at 4.37. Cincinnati played it all 3 in the top of the 7th. Carson Spires, 4 scoreless as the long man. Luis Ortiz, 6 shutout as the Pirates starter. If you thought Skeens was done, he is clearly not done. And the sentiment echoed from Skeens, from Shelton, from Ben Cherington, all seem to be that he's not getting shut down. We're not going to be starved of Paul Skeens starts for the final month of the season.
So that was going to be my takeaway from this series. So from GM Ben Charrington, on Paul Skeens, and I quote, "There is a range of innings we don't want him to go past this season. Could lead to shorter starts." Manager Derek Shelton comes out and says, "We're just going to keep letting him ride." And I think if Charrington then tells Shelton, "Hey, that we got an innings limit a little bit," I think Shelton's just coming out like, "I haven't heard anything. We're going to keep letting him be one of the best pitchers in baseball," because to this point, too, I mean, we haven't really done a stat check on Paul Skeens in a little bit. 2.16 ERA, 2.64 expected, 32.5% strikeout rate, 6.3% walk rate. He's not allowing hard contact. He has 130 strikeouts and 104 innings with an 0.94 whip. The dude is straight box office. But we're just getting conflicting reports. Charrington, Shelton. Do you have any sort of like pulse? Maybe even not like, I've been talking to this person, but just like an internal feeling. What do you think is going to happen? Because it's almost like if the Pirates had a horrible series against the Reds
Yeah.
and they kept falling back, maybe they would be more privy to an innings limit. I don't know. That
I mean,
I just come to you with questions, not
yeah, no,
answers.
I believe the one that's a little bit more transparent, and I don't mean the person, I mean the answer. Like out of those two answers to that question, which one do you deem more transparent?
Charrington,
Correct.
transparent
Yes.
actually. Yeah. I mean, it's
Yes.
yes. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the plan. That I don't think they're going to say, "All right, we're going to give you 3 more starts and you can go into the 7th. We want 5 more starts at 5 innings."
If
That could make sense.
if you hear one guy saying he's all systems go, and then you hear that guy's boss saying, "Yeah, we have some guardrails in play, but he's going to finish the season." Who do you believe? I mean,
I wonder what
I
the
know
innings
who I
limit is too. Like, what
believe.
is it? Is it 125? Is it 130? Is
I
it
don't know. I
40?
I bet it's a feel thing, but do you remember when Jared Jones started in New York and he got through 5 shutout innings and 59 pitches?
Yeah, it was like
He was
one
amazing.
hit, two, no runs,
Yeah,
and
in
dominant.
59 pitches, and they lifted him because it was designed that he was only going to go 5 because they're trying to spread him out across the entire year. I could see that happening with Skeens, where it is designed short. It's designed, hey, you're going no more than 60 pitches. You have a hard cap at 60.
That
I could
sucks.
see those kind of starts happening.
Kind of sucks, but I get it. I mean,
But
I
like, you also
fully
want
get
this
it.
guy to throw for a decade.
Yeah, it's like putting the best gasoline in your Lamborghini. Like you're gonna
Right,
keep doing that. Yeah.
right.
So I,
It's
I
like,
get it. It's so up in the air. Like I don't think anybody really truly knows. I don't even know if the Pirates have like a fully fledged plan yet.
no, it doesn't sound like they
Yeah.
have something set in stone. If they had something set in stone, I feel like we wouldn't get, you know, butting head type answers to these. You know what I mean?
Also beyond the scheme's point, like the Reds have just had a disaster of a season. I mean, they're
Correct.
one run, like in 1 run games, they're on the completely wrong side of almost all of them. Injuries all year. Alexis Diaz, you hope, takes that next step. He's taking a step back as a closer.
Taking
Nick
2 steps.
Lodolo, same thing. Hunter Green gets hurt. The whole team has been hurt. It's just what a terrible season that was so hyped going into the year for good reason. And also, Reds fans, just so you know, there's like a 99% chance I'm heavily investing in you all next season. But this season, it's just been a disaster. And it's not all of their fault. And that's why I'll probably be on them next year.
Understood. Okay, let's go to Miami again. The big story out of Miami is Griffin freaking Conine is going to go join the Marlins in Colorado to make his big league debut either tonight or tomorrow. But this was a 2-1 series win for the Cubs. Game one went to Chicago 6-3. Pete Crow Armstrong had an inside the park home run in 14.08 seconds. It's the fastest home to home time since Byron Buxton went 13.85 in 2017. This is mind numbing speed. Ian Happ had a 2-run shot. Miguel Amaya made a 1-run advantage 3 in the ninth with a 2-run homer. Jorge Lopez, a little bit of a redemption story in the Cubs bullpen, 4th save of the year for Jorge Lopez there. Game two, annihilation. 14-2, the Cubs. They out-hit Miami 17-4. Seiya Suzuki, 3 for 5, 2 homers, drove in 4, scored 3 runs. Michael Busch, 3 for 5, drove in 2. PCA homered again, a 2-run shot, finished 2 for 4. with 3 RBIs. P. Wiz homered, Patrick Wisdom. Connor Norby and David Hensley had solo shots. Those were the only runs against Shota Imanaga in 7 innings of work. Valente Bellozo had the start that I was expecting from him a month ago. 4 2/3, 5 earned, 5 walks. Vidal Brujan finished the game on the hill. He allowed 2 runs in his inning of work.
Nice.
Game 3. I figure I always provide the position player pitching updates because it's fun. It's a little throw in. It's like, yeah, things went really bad.
Do you see him struck out Isaac Paredes on a slider?
Isak didn't rip one down the left field line.
Sad. No, he didn't. And he hasn't been in a Cubs uniform.
I know he hasn't been, Peter. Weird. No, I know. It's really weird. It's bizarre.
Who could have called that?
Shut up.
Shut up. Shut up.
Just shut up.
Shut up. You're being fucking mean, dude. Shut up.
Game 3, 7-2 Miami. They salvage. Connor Norby homered. That gave him 6 extra base hits in his first 6 games as a Miami Marlin. He is the first player in Marlins franchise history to do that. Jesus Sanchez also homered. Miami had a 4 spot in the 8th to put it away. Big takeaway here was this is the best PCA has looked into any game sample. Like, I know it was a 2-game, 3-game sample, but this was the best weekend of PCA's career.
You stole my takeaway. Pete Crow Armstrong in the month of August, slashing 284, 342, 582 for a 924 OPS. And this comes to us from Arm Layton. PCA since the start of August, 7 strikeouts, 9 extra base hits. WRC plus north of 150 over his last 20 games. And Arm remembered to say, he's an elite glove in center with elite wheels. If the bat keeps trending like this, he's going to rack up WAR with the best of them. And that's why I think all of us have been pretty high on PCA even through these early struggles offensively, because we know that he's the type of player that if he reins in some of that aggressiveness, both at the plate and in the field, as he continues to develop. I mean, we also have to remember that this guy is 22 years old. The reason we continue to bring up the age here is that this guy could be a junior at LSU right now, but instead he's playing center field for the Chicago Cubs. And yeah, he's a little crazy sometimes. You know, he's got some blue hair. He makes some plays that make you think, oh, PCA, you're just doing too much here. But he's young. He's trying to make an impact. He's a fiery guy. So once he reels that in a little bit, the offense comes to play. What we're looking at is an 80-grade glove in center field with a guy who can hit enough to be very, very valuable. And you see the peaks of what he can do offensively, a 924 OPS this month in August as a 22-year-old. Cubs fans, stick with this guy. He's good.
Hand up. I was starting to get pissed, because you know what the potential is.
Here's the thing, though. There's a difference between you getting pissed and you saying that you're done, because you know what he had in there.
I was never done. I was just getting frustrated. I was getting frustrated. I was getting pissed because I was like, where are you, man? Like, we know what you can be. Show us that in flashes. And it's these kind of weekends. It's this kind of 20-game stretch that should make everybody a season ticket holder for Pete Crow Armstrong.
Love the way you put that. Season ticket holder. You're in for the long run with PCA. And I just can't get over the fact that he's 22. It's like, we got to give these guys just a little bit of time. But I know when you're in the midst of a playoff race and you need every game matters, especially with the Cubs.
The Cubs situation was so stupid and so weird this summer. It was like,
yeah,
you're in it, but he's not good. And then as soon as you kind of fall out of it, he levels up a little bit.
It's tough.
It's a lower stress environment now.
Yeah. And look at what he's doing. But again, he's 22. Like, sometimes you need a little lower stress environment. Like, it's no surprise to me that some guys who are really, really young who get called up playing on crap teams do really well because there's no pressure on them. But when you're inserted into a playoff race, it's tough. These guys are human beings.
I mean, dude, look at Norby. I mentioned 6 extra base hits in his first 6 games. He had a quote about that, you know, kind of transitioning from a must-win environment to Miami, and he didn't, you know, firmly say that it's an easier environment in Miami, but there's just more like leeway, dude. It's a looser leash on a Connor Norby. And
I mean, I'm 26 years old. Like, I get nervous at the DMV when I'm not sure what to do. These guys are 22 in the middle of the playoff race. Imagine them.
Have we gone to the DMV in the last several weeks?
No, we have not.
I'm scared. You gotta hate that.
I hate the DMV.
But you have to go.
I know. I gotta get a license. I got to get a license.
You have to go.
For anyone who doesn't know that story, so we've been doing a lot of trips together, and we might enjoy ourselves at a bar afterwards. I'm the guy bringing my passport
I
everywhere.
was not at that bar. Well, I've seen the passport poll, but I was not at the bar when you lost the license.
That's the Denver airport. I left my license in there.
Did the
Uh,
Illuminati take it?
they might have. I
They're
mean, think about
invasive.
this. I called the Denver airport. They have no idea where my license is. I wonder why.
You called the Denver airport asking if they found a piece of plastic?
Not my
You were
smartest
fighting
move,
a
but I had
losing
to
battle
try.
from the jump. Are you kidding me?
I had to try. I mean, what am I going to do?
Oh, you didn't have to try. You could
The
just go to
lady
the
on the
DMV
phone
and get
was like, "Are
another.
you?" The lady on the phone was legitimately like, "Are you?" I know she didn't actually say this, but this was her tone. Like, "Are you kidding me, you dumbass? Like, you think I know where your license is, you moron?"
Hey, were you walking around, maybe like Terminal B or something? Did you see Peter Apple's license?
And the worst part about it, do you remember what restaurant you were at? No idea. No
Oh.
idea. The entire airport, no idea. So I've been
No, it's somewhere in the
passporting.
airport.
I've been passporting for about a year and change. Yeah,
Oh,
and you say, "Well, Peter, just order a license." I don't like the DMV. Leave me alone. I'll
go to the
figure it
DMV.
out later.
You have to. You have to go to the DMV.
And then people say you can order it online. Be like, "I'm busy. I got shit to do. We're watching baseball. It's the season. Leave
Yeah.
me alone." Passport works
California.
fine.
Yeah, like I understand, I could go to the DMV, but Joey Estes is on the hill in a Wednesday afternoon game.
What am I going to miss that?
Prioritizing. I understand.
To go hang with Bertha at the DMV?
And it takes an hour. It
Yeah.
takes an hour to even see somebody.
And she hates you standing there. Just hates you. Just wants you to die slowly. I'm just like, damn it, just give me a license.
That's Tuesday. That's Tuesday at the Department of Motor Vehicles. Okay, let's go to Tigers White Sox now. This was a
This
series
this
we.
is the DMV series. I
This
mean,
was
let's be real
this
here.
Bertha fucking killing you in a series. The Tigers swept the White Sox 3 games love or 3 games to nil. Game one, 5-2 Detroit. Corey Lee, 3 for 4 with a double.
Okay. Future.
Kader Montero, 5 innings, 2 runs. Chris Flexen, 5 innings, 2 runs, the best start of his season. Matt Vierling in a multi RBI day. Game two, 13-4 Detroit. Tarek Skubal struggled, relatively speaking. 5 innings, 3 runs, 8 Ks, no walks.
Yeah.
The win made him 15-4. He's the first guy in Major League Baseball to 15 wins. And take a step back for a moment. The below 500 Detroit Tigers have their starting pitcher, their ace, as the first 15-game winner in Major League Baseball this year. A team below 500 has a starting pitcher that is 15-4. He's the best in baseball this year.
Fly the banner in Detroit. First to 15 wins for your starter.
Eric Skubal, 15-4 record in 2024.
It's about building banners. Then you get to a wild card banner like the Blue Jays have hanging up. Then you have. Sorry, that was a mean jab at Blue Jays
Still in
fans. I
contention on September 10th. That'll be a banner at some point.
just start hanging banners.
Start hanging them. Kai Busch, 3 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs. Detroit had 4 in the third, 4 in the fourth, 4 in the ninth against John Brebbia. Vierling, Keith, McKinstry, all homer. Jake Rogers had a 3-hit, 3 RBI day. Game three, 9-4 Detroit. Just some notes for you. The White Sox are now 31-100. They had 2 in the first, and then they did the White Sox thing where the other team scores a lot and they don't really score. Andrew Vaughn and Andy Ibanez homered. It was a pen game for Detroit. The Chicago White Sox will need to go 12-19 to avoid tying the 1962 New York Mets for the modern MLB record for most losses in a season. Do you think 12-19 is in the cards?
That's like a big time stretch for them. That'd be their best stretch of the season.
That would be their best stretch of the season. 7 games under 500 for the final.
There's just no shot they do
31. That. No chance they do.
I think, okay, 12-19. I think they go 12-19. That's 31 games.
31. I think they win 7 of their next 31.
I was going to say, I think they go 9-22.
Only the 1916 Philadelphia A's have gotten to 100 losses in fewer games than the 2024 Chicago White Sox.
What about those 2003 Tigers? Were they, because they finished 44-118?
That sounds right, but
yeah, we just went over that.
They did not get to 100 losses this early. This is the second fastest team, only behind the 1916 Philadelphia A's, to 100 losses in Major League history.
Hang the banner.
If they lose 121 games, they are
should
the
have a
worst
banner.
team of the modern era, and they should hang the banner. They shouldn't hang it. They should put it in the basement. They like the concourse, the boiler room at Guaranteed Rate Field should just have like a plaque that says, 31 and 131. That would be the record.
So as a White Sox fan, this is my takeaway. Again, it's another question for you. How do you feel about next year? Very simple. Like, are you looking at next year's team too and thinking to yourself, wow, we might break this year's record? Or do
No.
you see some young guys and it's like, we could probably win 50?
Yeah, I mean, guys that are going to factor in next year, and I don't know the severity of Drew Thorpe's injury, but assuming that Thorpe is okay and ready to go by opening day, you've got a full season of Thorpe. You have a full season of Crochet that is built up to a starter's, length at this point. Luis Roberts still on the team. Kai Bush is on the team for the whole year. Jairo Iriarte is going to factor in. Edgar Caro is going to be the catcher. Colson Montgomery is going to be in the big leagues. Like, there's enough coming to get somewhat excited.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
not excited, but like,
no, that's exciting. Like you're
gonna be
seeing
bad.
new blood, which
They're
is
gonna be
again
bad.
always going to be exciting.
Yeah, they're going to be bad. They're going to be much easier to watch.
That's better. That was my only takeaway really from the series because, like, congratulations, Tigers. Nice series win. I mean,
Yeah, good job getting it done.
White Sox are horrific all the time. So, so
Advanced horrible.
I just wanted to ask a White Sox fans' thought process of, are you even turning on opening day? We're gonna watch Crochet.
Yeah, for a Crochet start. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
Okay.
Especially if like Colson's in the lineup and Caro's in the lineup, I could absolutely get behind that.
For all those watching us on YouTube, if you are a White Sox fan, first of all, and you're still tapped into this show and you're still tapped into White Sox baseball, you're the best. I mean, you're probably
you have the Apple update for the YouTube people. Can you do the heart thing? And the hearts should pop up in the middle of your hand. Yep, there we go. The hearts are up in the middle of your hand.
So for all those watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. But also, White Sox fans, vibe check. Are you okay? Are you okay? Let us know in the YouTube comments.
You guys are fine.
We're just checking in on your mental.
Rub some dirt on it. Okay.
Next series?
What?
Next series?
St. Louis, Minnesota. This was a series win for St. Louis, 2-1. Game 1 went the Cardinals' way 6-1. Andre Palante, dude, 7 innings, 1 run. Brendan Donovan homered. Wilson Contreras went 3 for 5. Mason Wynn, Lars Nootbaar drove in 2 apiece. David Festus struggled 3 2/3, 3 runs against him, but Palante was awesome. Game 2, 6-0 Minnesota. This was the Pablo Lopez that we've been waiting for, especially with the Joe Ryan injury and a couple other guys, going down. Pablo, 7 shutout, 4 hits, 9 Ks, and 1 walk. Sonny Gray struggled, man. Like 6 innings, 5 earned. Trevor Larnach got to Sonny Gray. 3-run homer in the 3rd, solo shot in the 5th. Both Larnach's homers were against Sonny. Matt Wallner homered a little bit later in the game as well. Game 3, 3-2 St. Louis. Cardinals got 2 in the top of the 9th to take the lead against Joan Duran, who was working a day game after a night game. They asked Griffin Jax and Joan Duran to do that. Yeah. Are we sure that's good?
I'm so glad you brought that up. Or you're not done breaking down all the series. I want to talk about that as my takeaway.
Real quick, Willie Castro, leadoff homer, one of the 2 hits against Eric Fetty. It was the only run against Fetty. Went 6 innings, a 1-run ball. Zebby Matthews, his best start of his big league career to this point. Granted, there's only been 3 of them. 5 innings, 1 run, 7 Ks, and no walks because Zebby does the no walk thing. Only run was on a home run from Victor Scott. Good to see Victor Scott swinging a little bit, but that's it for the series. Saturday night's game was Pablo Lopez for 7 shutout. It was already a pretty decent lead. And they go Jax and Duran.
They were up 6-0.
6-0 through 7, and they go Jax and Duran. And then a Sunday day game after that Saturday night game, they go Jax and Duran. Why?
Well, I understand them needing to go back to Jackson Duran because they had the 2-1 lead.
But like, why on Saturday?
You're preaching to the choir here. I had the over in that game. I had the over 7.5 in that game. Twins are scoring a bunch. Cardinals can't score off Pablo Lopez, but I'm hoping the Twins will throw in a couple of bad relievers in order to get the Cardinals to score. And they go Jackson Duran. And I thought to myself, you have another game tomorrow. Rocco, if you put them in again and they blow it, that's on you. And I've been saying this for a really long time, ever since Rocco became the manager of the Twins. I don't think this guy can manage a bullpen for his life. He has a lot of good arms back there, but this has been a pattern for him. And I have said this before, and I don't want to bag on the guy, but it's like if I notice a manager, that probably means you're not doing well. And I continually see Rocco Baldelli make weird and just downright bad decisions consistently.
I love that you bring that up because managers are like umpires who are like offensive linemen.
Yep.
If you notice them, they're not doing well.
And if I were to step into his shoes, I understand where he was coming from. Going into that game, Jackson Duran had not gotten a lot of run in the past couple of days. So I'm sure he just wanted to get them innings. But the thing is, like, we're in August. These guys aren't rusty if you give them another day off. If they have 3 or 4 days off, they'll be fine. To win the last game of the series, to make sure that you win in a tight race where you got the Royals playing really good baseball, you got the Guardians playing really good baseball, you got to win every game. So you're up 6-0. Your starter gave you 7 innings and he looked unbelievable. And the Cardinals offense, you're watching them look anemic. You're not going to put in like an Okert. You're not even going to put in like somebody else. I don't know. I know Trevor Richards hasn't been good, but okay. They give up a couple runs. Then you have to go to Jackson Duran. I don't think they would have, because if you watch that game, the Cardinals couldn't do anything. Yeah. But then, and congratulations, Jackson Duran. Of course they shut them down. They were fresh and the Cardinals couldn't do anything. And you only have 2 innings to spare. It's not like Lopez went 5. Lopez went 7.
He was awesome. Yeah.
If you went to Jack's, okay. You don't go to Duran and then you go to them back-to-back times. So that's what I feel has low-key kept the Twins back a little bit, is I don't think Rocco is a very good manager, in my opinion, because I notice blunders from him much more than most managers. And the reason I'm bringing it up again is because I've been consistent with this. This isn't a new take. This isn't just, oh, he made that bad decision, he's a bad manager. I've been saying this for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've noticed this constantly.
And you wouldn't go as far as to say that he's a bad manager based off of 3 bad decisions. You would do that based on 2 years of watching closely and saying, the tendencies are not great. That's why you're, I think, willing to go as far as to label him, quote unquote, a bad manager by your opinion.
Because it's been consistent.
Yeah.
And I'm actually curious, Twins fans, do you agree with me or do you not agree with me? Because I'm not a Twins fan. I am watching the Twins objectively, noticing other managers and being like, why do I notice you all the time, dude?
That's the thing. And you're watching more, I think, Twins ball in real time than I am. So I, I'm not going to go, I'm not going to, stake an opinion on Rocco.
I bet on this team all the time.
I know.
They have these splits and they either work or they don't. Like I watch so much Twins baseball.
Right. So you're watching them all the time. I'm watching them a little bit less. They're a condensed game team for me and they're a listen on the radio team for me. But, yeah, like I'm not willing to stake a claim when it comes to an opinion on Rocco Baldelli, but you certainly feel very strongly about this.
When it's consistent over years, like I have to say something.
Yeah.
I keep seeing it over and over and over again. And like that lost them the game.
Yeah, it did.
Lost them the game. Obviously you can blame Duran, right? I mean, he's still an elite closer. You should be able to go 2 days in a row. But the thing is, he should never been put in that scenario altogether. But we can move on because I don't need to keep harping about this. Twins fans, let me know. Am I off? Am I correct? What do you guys think? I'm willing to have my mind changed where he did something that I didn't see. You guys really like him? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below.
Yep. Okay, we go to Milwaukee and Oakland in Oakland. Game 1, 11-3, Milwaukee. 5 in the second to jump in front from the Brewers. Rhys Hoskins, Joey Ortiz, and then Lawrence Butler for Oakland. All homered. Aaron Savali, 4 innings, 3 runs, 4 walks. But JP Sears was worse. 3 2/3, 9 hits, 7 runs.
You're pissed about that. Yankee. Aaron Savali, more dubs.
It wasn't a dub. He went 4 innings and walked 4. It's not a dub.
Better than 3 innings walking 5.
It is better than 3 innings walking 5, but it's not enough to qualify for a win.
That's how we start to turn the dial into, well,
Your
it could be more positive about
your
the
team gives you a 5 spot in the second. They put up 11 runs in the game, and you can't make it far enough to win. And you're a grit and grind guy
Well, think about it. Why'd they score 11? Because they
because
have confidence behind Savali.
they have no confidence, and they needed to give him a bunch of cushion. Game 2, 9-5 Milwaukee. Jake Bauers, a 2-run homer. JJ Bleday homered. Brent Rooker, his 30th homer on the year. Rooker ended Saturday night. He put his head on the pillow on Saturday with a 935 OPS. Wow, man. Colin Ray, 6 2/3. He did exactly what you need him to do. 6 2/3, 4 runs. I'm buying into Ray, but Savali I'm still out on. And I just don't think I'll ever buy in to what Savali's selling here. Game 3, Oakland salvages the series. Oakland got all 4 in the fourth against Frankie Montas. Joey Estes, 5 2/3, 2 hits, 2 runs. That came on a 2-run home run from Gary Sanchez. Willie Adames also homered in the seventh, but Mason Miller got a 4-out save. Did you have anything on this series, really?
I did, but it's not really about the series. That's how I got a takeaway from this one. He had a good series, but he's just been so good. And I feel like we haven't talked about him a lot. We've mentioned him and gave him some flowers, but damn it, Jackson Chorio has been so damn impressive this year. 15 home runs, 18 steals, slashing 273, 320, 440 for a 760 OPS. Now, those numbers don't jump off the table. But then we remember that this guy is 20 years old and in June hit 315 for an 897 OPS. In July, hit 317 for an 876 OPS. And in August, 311 for an 861 OPS. Post All-Star break, this guy's slashing 336, 374, 557 for a 931 OPS with 6 homers and 8 steals. He has almost as many steals and home runs as he did in the first half in less than half the ABs. This guy is blossoming before our very eyes. And I almost feel that, and this is also my fault. I'm not saying, oh, baseball media bogs him down. I bog him down. The reason I do is because there's so much excitement from so many players on the Brewers that all make this engine go. And I haven't given Jackson Chorio his flowers because it's not like he's the absolute best player on the team. That's William Contreras. Or go ahead.
There were always other guys. It was
And it,
Yelich in the first half, and then
right.
it was Adames, and then it was William Contreras, and
Even Joey Ortiz showing up.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. And it's like, hey, the grit and grind starting pitching, like the bullpen, amazing. There's always been a different facet of the Milwaukee Brewers. Pat Murphy, even, dude, we're crediting Pat Murphy, and then it's like, wait, hold on. The 20-year-old that they just gave $80 million to is starting to be really freaking good.
It's almost like if the Brewers were in fourth right now and everything you said about them was true and they actually were bad. No, I'm just kidding. That was a good one. That was a good one.
No, that was good.
Let's say they were in fourth, like we and Jackson Char was doing this exact thing. We might be even more hyped than we should be just because he would be the bright spot on an otherwise disappointing season. But he has just been a key cog in what has been an awesome season from just about everybody. But I wanted to give him his flowers. He's been so freaking good offensively. The bat to ball. I mean, this isn't a guy who's hitting some home runs, stealing some bases, but striking out so much and flashes good things, but isn't consistent. No, this guy has been damn consistent. And for a 20-year-old to strike out at a near 20% rate while having a hard hit rate at 45%, and you look into the underlying metrics in terms of his batted ball quality, they say he's only going to get better. He's in the 97th percentile of sprint speed. The defense has been elite. 5 outs above average. He's in the 89th percentile. His arm, he's got a cannon. This guy's just a really good player at 20 years old, and we're just scratching the surface. That's all we're doing. We're just scratching it. And these past 3 months have been fantastic for the 20-year-old outfielder.
We are in a phenomenal season when it comes to National League rookies.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not have thought so at the beginning of the year. You might have thought so, actually, at the beginning of the year, because it was Yamamoto, Imanaga, and Jared Jones.
Yeah.
Like that was the 3-horse race for the rookie of the year. And now we're talking about Skeens and Merrill. And then you've got Chorio and Joey Ortiz that are hanging out in the National League rookie class as well. And you've got Imanaga, and you've got Yamamoto, and you've got Jared Jones. Like, we're in a really good spot.
It's just there's so much freaking talent in baseball right now. It's
So
absurd.
much.
Bobby Witt Jr. is going to put up a 10-win season and probably not win the MVP.
Yeah.
It's bonkers.
It
I mean, there's Gunnar Henderson is going
It's
to
an
put up like an
afterthought right
8-win
now.
season and not finish in the top. It's unbelievable. Jose Ramirez is going to go 40-40. Shohei's going to go
Finish-
50-50. Judge is going to hit 63.
40-40. J-Ram is going to go 40-40 and finish 6th in MVP voting.
Lindor's going to go 35-35 while playing elite defense and finish second. It's there's so many. That's why I can understand sometimes when fans are like, well, he should be the MVP. It's like, I understand.
There
When
are
you
like
turn
10
on,
guys that should
if
be the
you're a
MVP
Guardians
right
fan watching Jose Ramirez every day, you're like, how can anybody be better than this guy? You're a Royals fan watching Bobby Witt Jr. How in the world could anyone be better than this guy?
Yeah.
You're a Yankee fan. You're watching Judge and Soto. Is this the greatest duo ever? You're in
now.
LA watching Ohtani.
That was actually true.
You're in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh watching Skeens. You're in San Diego watching Merrill. San Diego Padres fans. How would a pitcher be Rookie of the Year? Pirates fans. You're telling me Merrill's better than Skeens? Are you on crack? Like it's the best. And what's so awesome, both sides are right. All of you who are rooting on your favorite player, you're all right. It's all awesome. That's baseball. And there's parity. What a season we have. What a season we have in front of us.
This is a phenomenal season, and I love the parity there. I love that there's not
love it.
a Goliath.
Horrible for gambling because it's really tough to pick a winner, but damn it, for
Your
baseball,
baseball
unbelievable.
Heart, your baseball heart is bursting right now.
Bursting always. This has been such a good season.
You're hanging.
Except for the injuries.
Yeah.
The injuries.
The White Sox.
Yeah.
Last series for me was in LA. Rays, Dodgers. And this might have been the series of the weekend, dude. Dodgers take the series 2-1. Game 1, 7-3 Dodgers. It was 3-3 in the bottom of the ninth, and then Shohei decided to do Shohei things. Shohei Ohtani got to 40-40 on a walk-off grand slam.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
holy
shit.
Of course he did.
And less than 24 hours later, he's throwing off a mound for the first time this year. Like,
I didn't know that.
You didn't
see that report.
Yeah, less than 24 hours later, like Saturday afternoon, after going 40-40 with a walk-off grand slam, he's throwing off a mound.
Oh, that makes me so happy. I didn't even see that report.
I know.
I was at the Pickett event. Shout out Pickett Sports. I was at that event on Saturday.
That sounded awesome.
Oh, so much fun. Got to go to the Yankee game, watch my Yankees lose as a -300 favorite 9-2 to the Rockies, which we'll discuss later.
Yeah, but Ohtani off a mound on Saturday. It's just like, you remember that this guy's going to pitch next year. He's the fastest to 40-40 by 21 games in Major League history, and he's going to pitch next year and be a Cy Young contender. He became the 6th player. Like, I need to remind myself of this because 30-30 is becoming... I mean, Volpe was 2020 last year. I think 2020 is becoming like, oh, nice, good for you.
Hey, why are we just catching strays over here?
He hit like 205.
I know, but I didn't need to hear it. Try to end my night well.
But like, dude, I think now with the emphasis on stolen bases and all that, and guys leading into power, whatever, you could say, oh, 30-30 has lost its luster. No, it hasn't.
30-30 is sick.
It is awesome. And Shohei Ohtani, a reminder, just became the 6th player in Major League Baseball history to get to 40-40. There have been 6 guys in the history of our game to get to 40-40. And he did it 21 games faster than literally anybody else. So you think that you're not watching the coolest fucking season you've ever seen with Judge blowing past his pace in 2022 and hitting about 30 points better and slugging about 100 points better than he was in 2022. And then you've got Shohei Ohtani, the one year that he's off the hill, getting to 40-40, 21 games faster than anybody else. Again, like piggybacking on your rant just moments ago, like, we are in such a ridiculously awesome spot with the superstars in this game. Junior Caminero, Christopher Morel both took Bobby Miller deep. Kike Hernandez went yard. Junior Caminero, holy weekend.
Jeez.
Game 2, 9-8 Tampa in 10. Junior Caminero tied it with a solo homer in the top of the ninth. 108 off the bat, 418 out to dead center off Evan Phillips. Taj Bradley struggled. 7 innings, 6 runs. Clayton Kershaw, 5 innings, 5 earned. Jose Caballero had a 2-run homer off Joe Kelly in the top of the 10th. That was the difference. Teoscar and Miguel Rojas, and of course, Shohei Ohtani also homered in that one. Game 3, LA won 3-1. Johnny DeLuca homered off Gavin Stone. That was the only run against Stone, who has been phenomenal this year. 7 innings, 1 run. Kike homered, but Mookie Betts, after Ohtani was hit by a pitch later, Mookie Betts 2-run homer to give LA the lead in the bottom of the 8th. This was a hell of a Dodger weekend.
It was, but my takeaway is for the other team.
Junior Caminero.
This is for you, Rays.
Why?
Why was he not on the big league roster sooner?
Fair.
The guy is slashing 293, 370 for a 463 slug with an 833 OPS. He's already got a couple bombs and he's got a couple steals. Guys are supposed to come up at 21 years old and strike out. Is Junior Caminero striking out? Nope, 20%. 20-year-olds are supposed to be, if we're along the same lines as, swinging and missing, being aggressive. They're not supposed to walk like this. He's got an 11% walk rate. 21-year-olds are not supposed to have a 53.3% hard hit rate. You know where that would rank him among all players this year right now? 13th. Just trailing Austin Riley, Rafael Devers, Ketel Marte. What is wrong with you, Rays? I mean, this is service manipulation at its finest. This guy was ready when he first came up. Now, I know he dealt with injuries this season. I get it. But Rays, you want to just soak another year of this guy, or do you want him to help you potentially make the playoffs? Because he could have been the best player on the team this year at 21 years old.
It was just so weird because he was up at the end of last year.
I know. It made no sense. That's like,
he was a
it's almost
lock
like
to leave
Churio
sleeping.
starting in the minors next year. Not really, but like kind of.
No,
not actually. Kind of bad comparison, but I'm gonna stick with that one because it makes me upset, and I'm upset.
No, I mean, dude, it was bizarre. And like, I get that you had the positional thing with Isaac Paredes playing third and Yandy Diaz at first and all that, but like, you just find ABs for a guy
Figure
like
it out.
you figure it
Figure
out.
it out.
Yandy off his feet, you move Paredes to first, and you have Caminero play third. You rotate those three around the DH spot, so the bat is in the lineup every day. Like there
Put
were
Caminero
ways
at short. Put him at short. Who cares? Just get
Yeah,
him in the lineup.
yeah, I guess, but like, I don't know. There were just so many different ways to go about it than just hiding him in AAA for this long. You're right. It was blatant bad.
Blatant. I mean, it's just so unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy could. Next year we're buying all stock. That's all I got to say. Next year we're buying all the stock because this guy is a freak of nature. I loved Arm's comp where he's Teoscar with like more power. Or was that your comp?
No, that was probably Arms.
It might not have even been Arms, but I feel like one of you said that to me where he's like Teoscar with better contact skills and more power. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, no, that was not me.
Yeah. I mean, he's just going to rake forever. And it's so good to see him just hit the ground running because I knew he would. He's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a stud. There's a reason Arm ranked him as the #1 prospect over a guy like Jackson Holiday.
Yeah.
This guy's a monster. Absolute monster.
He is legit. We're going to get to the back half of these series in a moment. Before that, quick break.
We start at Fenway Park for the Diamondbacks taking on the Boston Red Sox. And in game 1, Diamondbacks win 12-2. Ryan Nelson settled in after a rough first inning to throw 6 innings, a 2-run ball, lowering his ERA to 4.29. Jordan Montgomery moved to the bullpen. Ryan Nelson sticking in the rotation for a reason. He's got a 3.28 ERA this month, 2.41 the month prior. Fastballs, top of the zone, tons of IVB from Nick Pollock. He had 20 inches of induced vertical break in his last start, which would put him in the 100th percentile. We know IVB. Thing that makes that thing rise. Nelson's got it. This game was all D-backs offense, highlighted by Eugenio Suarez. Grand slam in the 7th, 3 for 5 day for him. Perdomo, Suarez, and Josh Bell all had 3 hits in this route. Brian Bale, not great. 5 1/3, 7 hits, 5 earned. We moved to game 2 where the Diamondbacks won 4-1. This was the Zach Gallen show. 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned, 4 walks, but 9 Ks, ERA to 3.65. He'd been really struggling lately. So to go into Fenway against a team that is one of the best in baseball against righties, huge start. And Suarez stayed hot. 2-run double to start the scoring, and that was all that was needed. We moved to game 3. Diamondbacks win 7-5. Tristan Casas and Rafael Devers homered for the Red Sox, giving them a 4-0 lead after 4 innings. D-backs score 3 in the 5th, and Suarez comes up again. 3-run jack. Perdomo hits a solo shot in the 9th. Tyler O'Neill hit a homer in the 9th, but it wasn't enough. Kelly and Tanner Houck both weren't very good. Diamondbacks sweep and move to 75-56. Red Sox fall to 67-62. Jack, I tweeted out about the amazing Diamondbacks in the month of August. They are 17-5. They are the best offense in the league by far, with a 138 WRC plus first, 852 OPS first, 39 home runs first, 143 runs and 211 hits, both ranking first. That's without Christian Walker for the entire month. Ketel Marte's been banged up, and they've only gotten 5 games out of Gabby Moreno. This Diamondbacks offense is lethal, and Adrian Del Castillo just stepped in, and now is just a stud. They're so fun to watch.
He's plug and play, man, and they are starting to get really real 1 through 9, which is probably the best thing that I can say about a lineup is you are real. And at a certain point last year with Texas, I think it was right before the All-Star break, you classified them as real, I think. And it's not just hindsight's 2020 because they won the World Series, but Leody Taveras, you're hot until you're real, and it takes a couple months for that to happen. Jonah Heim, you're hot until you're real. Adrian Del Castillo has been really good. But take a look at his AAA numbers, man. He became real all of a sudden. And I'm not talking real oh, he's a star hitter. I'm just saying this is kind of sort of valid from him. And is he going to slow down? Probably. Is he going to be this good next year? Probably not. But it's real. This is validated. And this D-backs lineup is valid now. I think we've gotten to that point, especially with Ketel Marte on the shelf. We've just hit the point where everybody else is doing enough to make the Arizona Diamondbacks a real offense.
Another player that's taken a big step this year, Jake McCarthy, has been so good.
Mm-hmm.
Slashing 299, 370, 445 for an 815 OPS. He doesn't strike out at all. He's fast as shit. He can get on with a bunt, but he can also hit one over the wall. Play really good defense. He's still just 27 years old. He was drafted by the D-backs. Competitive balance pick, 39th overall. This is a guy who should be a part of their core moving forward, and the guy's just a really good player. Gritty. Love Jake McCarthy. And then when all of these guys come back, Jake McCarthy probably isn't hitting in the 2-hole anymore, but now you're moving a guy who has been great in the 2-hole down to the 7-hole. This team is so freaking good. I love the D-backs. But let's talk about my Yankees. Rockies versus Yankees. I was in attendance for an absolute shit show, but they did win game 1. The Yankees win 3-0. Judge hits his 49th home run of the season. Stanton homered as well. Rodon was dominant. 6 innings, 4 hits, 5 Ks, no runs, ERA to 4.16. Kyle Freeland was pretty good, though. 6 2/3, 2 earned, 3 Ks. But we moved to game 2. I was there. This was the Jake Cave show. He went 4 for 5 with a dinger, a double, 2 singles, and 3 RBIs. What? Michael Toglia is homering. I mean, Bradley Blaylock is shutting our shit down. 5 1/3, 2 earned, 5 Ks. Will Warren got destroyed for 5 earned. Did have 6 Ks for whatever that's worth. Game 3, though, Yankees win 10-3. Aaron Judge hits his 50th and his 51st home run. Soto, Judge, Stanton went back-to-back in the 7th, and Glaber hit a 3-run shot in the 8th. Yankees win the series and move to 77-54. Rockies fall to 48-83. Jack, I wanted to come to you with a takeaway about Aaron Judge, but at this point, how much more glazing can we do?
There's no takeaway.
It's every single time I come to you and I'm like, he's the best. He's the best I've ever seen. He's the best I've ever seen, and he keeps topping it. I don't even know what to say. It's you're watching something. It's like if I were to ever watch aliens come down to Earth. How do you describe that? How do you describe that? You've never seen something like it. I've never seen a man do what he is doing.
You
And then
don't.
Soto is also so good. It's just the rest of the Yankees are not that good, but they are so freaking amazing. They're so amazing.
From the GOAT, Sarah Langs, 2022, Aaron Judge threw 131 team games. 51 homers, slashed 296, 399, 664. This year, 51 homers, 333, 465, 736 slash. So he's hitting about 40 points better. He's getting on base about 70 points better. And he's slugging about 80 points better. Aaron Judge is on pace for 63 homers. The other thing, I was just going through single season records for OPS. You know, like it's Josh Gibson and Oscar Charleston and Mule Suttles and, you know, Babe Ruth, Bonds, obviously, Mark McGuire. The last guy that was quote unquote clean, that wasn't Ted Williams, that had an OPS over 1,200, I think was Frank Thomas in 1994 when he won the MVP. And Aaron Judge, as it stands right now,
1202.
let it sit for a minute. Monthly splits. Remember his April? In March, this guy was 2 for 16. In April, we thought he sucked. He hit 220 with an 811 OPS. In May, 361 with a 1397 OPS.
Pretty good.
In June, 409 with a 1378 OPS. In July, 318 with an 1106 OPS.
Bad
And in
month.
21 games in August, 425 with a 1544 OPS.
What can we even say?
There's nothing, man.
There's
There's
nothing to say.
left to say.
Witnessing greatness. And we're witnessing greatness across the league. And that
Think
was
about
the
this.
point of the entire rant. It's like we're witnessing a guy who already broke records, breaking his own records. And then
Dude.
in the other league, we're potentially watching a 50-50 guy. And then in that same league that Judge is in, we're watching one of the greatest seasons ever by a shortstop. And then go back to the National
We might
League.
have a 40-40 guy in Cleveland in that league.
And then we might have a 35-35 guy playing the best defense in the league in New York. And then we also have a guy in Pittsburgh who looks like the greatest pitcher I've ever seen.
I feel
It's
like
unbelievable.
we're rehashing all this stuff.
I
But like,
know.
as simple as I can put it, and the only thing I have on this is in the same freaking weekend roundup, we're talking about a guy hitting homers 50 and 51 on August 25th, and a guy being the fastest to 40-40 by 21 games in Major League history.
It's
On
unbelievable.
the same weekend roundup, the same episode, we're talking about this.
It's just like a Monday in August.
Yeah, Monday. Peter's got to go to the DMV. Talk to Bertha today.
Fuck Bertha. All right, let's talk Angels versus Blue Jays. Traveled to Toronto for an absolute beatdown. Game 1, Blue Jays win 5-3. Ernie Clement hit his third home run in as many games, part of a 5-run second inning. Nico Cavadas hit his first career home run. Shout out to Nico. This was a battle of the bullpens, and the Blue Jays won as newcomer Ryan Yarbrough threw 5 shutout. Griffin Canning for the Angels threw 6 shutout to try and keep his team in the game, but they stink. And we move to game 2. Blue Jays win 5-4. Angels got out to a 4-0 lead off RBI hits from Anthony Rendon, Joe Adell, and Taylor Ward, but the Blue Jays battled to within 1 in the 6th. Joey Loporfido ties it up with a home run in the bottom of the 9th, and Addison Barger says goodnight. 439-footer for the win. Move to game 3. Blue Jays win 3-1. Take a bow. Take a bow, Bowden Francis.
Take a bow, Den.
Take a bow, Den. Held a no-hitter into the 9th inning with 111 pitches. Jeff Passan tweets, let Bowden finish. I retweet it because he had to finish it. And unfortunately, Taylor Ward did take him deep, but what a show. What a performance. 12 strikeouts. But of course, didn't have the no-hitter, but 8 innings, 1 hit, 1 run. And Taylor Ward after the game says, and I quote, maybe to other guys he made better pitches. Other guys were talking about his split and that being on, but I didn't think it was anything special. What a dickhead thing to say. Carson Fulmer was great. 6 innings, 2 earned, 8 Ks. Vladdy also homered for his 27th of the career. I'm sure Jack will talk about that quote in a little bit. But let's get through the last one. Blue Jays win 8-2. Gosman was fantastic. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 10 Ks, ERA to 4.10. Kirk and Barger both homered, and Brandon Drury homered for the Angels for anybody who cares. Blue Jays sweep, moved to 63 and 68. Angels fall to 54 and 77. Blue Jays have a 0.2% chance of making the playoffs per Fangraphs. So you're saying there's a chance.
How can your shit be not great when you K12 and you take a no-hitter into the ninth?
I was like, and I'm a Taylor Ward guy. That pissed me off. Like, what are you doing,
Well, it's
dude?
just
You're
like, dude,
getting swept. You're
no,
getting
and it's
blown
also
out by the
like,
Blue Jays.
who
Like,
are
what are you,
man?
who are you exactly? Like, this guy, he's getting his feet wet in Major League Baseball, and it was a tough road to start the year. His past couple starts have been good. Like, what do you get out of saying that, dude?
Also, his first 21 appearances in the big leagues, resulting in a 1.7 ERA. His stuff isn't good. That was before this year. Not like, hey, is 8 innings a one-hit ball, lowering his ERA to 4.02? Yeah, like it hasn't been the best year for Bowden Francis, but dude, like he was a good major league reliever last year in his 36 and a third. He's shown flashes like this before. If you remember his last time out, literal last time out, 7 shutout, 3 hits, no walks, 7 Ks. His last time out before that, 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, no walks, 8 Ks. This guy's been nasty over his last 3 starts. And again, Taylor Ward, I respect what you've done as a Major League Baseball player, but who are you to say this about a guy that took a no-hitter into the ninth?
And if you're going to talk a little shit, then we can talk a little shit back to you. Ask your
He's
teammate.
also, I think he's from Dayton, Ohio.
No, think about this for a second. If his stuff is so bad, look how bad your team must be. Look how bad your teammates are, dude. Like, oh, it's nothing special. He just no hit you almost.
No doubt.
I
Also,
mean, like, take a look in the mirror. Look at the team that you're on, just getting swept by the Blue Jays, who are 5 games under 500.
yeah.
I mean, have a little like self-awareness, and then if you make those comments, you better come back and win the next game. No, you didn't. Gosman shoved it down your throats. Little self-awareness here, Taylor Ward. What are we talking about, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, just discrediting a young guy. Made no sense.
Last thing on this series, this is really for the YouTube crowd. I'm going to try and show you where Ernie Clement made contact with that home run. And can you explain this?
Okay. So I'm watching film right now. Jack's tomahawking at the top of the zone. Yeah.
It was like I'm telling you, it was top of his helmet high. That was insane from Ernie Clement.
I know we've been ripping on the Blue Jays a lot this year, but I do want to say that these young guys like Barger and Horowitz and Clement and all these guys, like they have been fun, objectively fun to watch.
Schneider and Loper
Exactly. Loperfido too, and big home run from him. Like
Varsho and Vladdy in this lineup again next year. Like this offense is not going to suck next year.
No, it's fun. It's fun. And it's just so funny too. It's like you have this young and exciting lineup of new guys who I'm sure Blue Jays fans are over the moon to watch. I don't even think they care about the win-loss record at this point. It's just they're not watching these old bags like Turner and Kevin Kiermaier. Shout out them. They're all legends, but at this point, like they weren't helping the Blue Jays do anything. But to see this injection of life has to be so much fun. And then you see a bunch of like 38-year-olds on the mound. But whatever, that's for another time. But the pitching has not been the problem. It's kind of been the problem. But overall, the season has been tough. But to watch this young offense blossom and to have a series like this was really, really intriguing. So shout out the Blue Jays, Taylor Ward. Take a look in the mirror, my friend. All right, let's go to Rangers versus Guardians. Great series. Game 1, Rangers win 5-3. Corey Seager and Leody Taveras both drove in 2 runs. Nate Lowe had 3 hits. Bibee struggled, which is very rare for him this year. He's been such a dog. 5 2/3, 4 earned. Still got his 6 Ks, though, and Eovaldi was just a little bit better. 6 innings, 3 earned, 5 Ks. We move to game 2. Guardians get the revenge. They win 13-5, and this was so much Guardians offense. Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor, Joe Kensie Noel, Bo Naylor, all homered, and every starter in the lineup had at least 1 hit. Ben Lively doing his Ben Lively shit. 6 2/3, 5 earned, 2 earned, 4 Ks, ERA to 3.62. And John Gray, not his day. 2 innings, 6 earned. We move to game 3. Guardians win an important game in this race, 4-2. Guardians grabbed a 2-0 lead, highlighted by another Jackenzie Noel home run. Corey Seager homered in the 8th. He has a never say die attitude to close that lead to 1. But David Fry, the dagger in the 8th, hit a home run. But again, I'm going to keep bringing up this guy because I'm so intrigued with him. Command first guy, but he shoves. Cody Bradford, 6 innings, 1 earned, 3 Ks against a Guardians lineup that was just coming off a 13-run performance. I know they haven't been very good against lefties this year, but still, he's been shoving all year. 3.31 ERA for Cody Bradford. And I want to shout out another lefty, Matthew Boyd. Since they got him, 2.70 ERA, another great start. 6 innings, 1 earned, 4 Ks. Guardians win the series, move to 75-55. Big win there as the Twins and Royals lose. Rangers fall to 60-71.
If you're not here yet, it's time to buy into Big Christmas.
So fun.
He's got a 965 OPS in his first 41 major league games. This guy's OPSing 1058 in the month of August with 6 homers. 41 games, a 634 slug.
And they needed it so badly.
So bad.
So bad. Because Naylor and Jose Ramirez are definite power hitters, but you need just a thumper.
Dude,
just a dude. Because when David Fry's been slowing down, you need another David Fry to then take David Fry's place. I know David Fry's been fine, but he wasn't the all-star caliber that he was in the first half. Noel has just slotted in and taken over that role and done it arguably better.
We've been asking for them to have more juice in the middle of that lineup for 5 years at this point. Well, since the inception of Project the Play, which was 4 years ago?
4 years? Something like that.
2021, May of 2021. Yeah. So, 4 years or so, right? It's
2024.
324.
Oh.
Is it 3 years? I
don't
can't.
I don't know.
Next time you talk, I'll actually think about it and I'll come back with a smart
Okay.
to not break up the Jackenzie Noel train, because I want to say that I've been the conductor of the hype train.
You 100% have. That's a fact.
Not to make it about myself. Jackenzie Noel, is he going to walk? Hell no.
Who cares? Why? I don't want him to walk either.
In 2022, we were looking at this Cleveland Guardians team and we were begging Oscar Gonzalez to be that middle of the order threat with Jose Ramirez. We were like, they need juice in any way, shape, or any, form possible.
Just a form.
They needed juice, man. They needed somebody. They needed a warm body that could hit the ball over a fence.
Yeah.
And Oscar Gonzalez was that guy for about 70 games, 80 games. And that was kind of starved. And Josh Naylor, Naylor is an awesome offensive piece to have. But he's not a 30 to 35 homer threat. I don't think Jackenzie is that guy over the course of a full season, but in 41 games, he's given you 12. This is the kind of middle of the order presence that they needed to be that real American League pennant contender. And if the pitching gets right, he can be a huge part of that.
And this American League Central race is so much fun. So much fun. That and the National League West, these races are awesome because we're starved a little bit. We got the Yankees and Orioles atop the division. They're battling, but it's not really a 3-horse race. Like when I'm looking at races, I want 3 teams in there. In the Central, you got the Guardians, Twins, and Royals, just a few games between each other. Dodgers, Padres, D-backs, same thing. They're all battling. But this AL Central, it's going to go down to the absolute wire. And we got a series this week, I'm pretty sure. I think maybe it starts today. Guardians, Royals, correct? Twins play the Braves. Pretty sure the Guardians play the Royals. I think it's Sandlin versus Cole Reagans today.
Sandlin Reagans in game 1 of the doubleheader. Logan Allen, Alec Marsh in game 2 of the doubleheader today. And then after the fact, you got Gavin Williams and Lorenzen on Tuesday, which will be pretty fun. And then on Wednesday, they should be wrapping up the series, and that's Bybee and Waka. Wow.
Can't wait to watch that series. All right, let's go to a team that will be in that series. Phillies Royals. Let's travel to Kansas City. Game 1, Royals win 7-4. Salvador Perez and Hunter Renfroe homered in the third to make the score 6-1, and the game was basically over. Michael Wacha shoved again. 6 innings, 2 earned, 5K, ERA down to 3.32, and Taijuan Walker did the opposite of shove. 3 innings, 6 earned, 2 Ks, ERA to 6.26. Phillies I think it's time to eat the contract and DFA Taiwan Walker respectfully. Game 2, Phillies win 11-2. JT Realmuto, it was his game. 2 bombs, 7 RBIs, went 3 for 5. Bryson Stott, though, second place in terms of guys who showed up. 4 for 4 with 3 singles, a double, and 2 runs scored. Ranger in his return. So good to see the man back. Ranger Suarez, 5 innings, 1 earned, 6 Ks. Brady Singer, not great. 5 innings, 5 earned on 11 hits. Game 3, another blowout. Phillies win 11-3. Castellanos homered, but it was a team effort on offense. Schwarber and Bohm both had 2 hits, 3 RBIs each. Garrett Stubbs, a home run away from the cycle. He went 4 for 4, a triple, a double, and 2 singles. Royals had 3 solo home runs, but it just wasn't enough. Colby Allard looked pretty good. 5 innings, 2 earned, 5 Ks, ERA to 3.50. He's been good in the interim for Philly. Lugo, another bad start. 5 innings, 11 hits again. Literally the same, almost just 2 Ks different from Brady Singer. 5 innings, 11 hits, 5 earned. His ERA is up to 3.19. Phillies win and win the series, move to 76-54. Royals fall to 72-58.
Michael Wacha, since the All-Star break, is 7th among qualified pitchers in ERA. In 7 starts since the break, Wacha has a 2.27 ERA. Only guys ahead of him, Hunter Green in his 5 starts, 33 innings, 4 earned. Dylan Cease, Bailey Ober, Hunter Brown, Logan Webb, Pablo Lopez. I feel like we've talked about all of those guys. We've even shined Ober, but we haven't really done the deep dive on Wacha. And I'm not going to give you the deep dive on Wacha right now. We might do that, midweek if he has another, great start. But dude, like, he has been a saving grace as Lugo gets a little tired. It's like he might just be getting tired.
It makes sense. Like, even Singer, too. As they're struggling a little bit, here comes Wacha. Here comes Michael Lorenzen, and Cole Reagans is still just a dude. So, I mean, this rotation is very, very strong. The bullpen is not, outside of Lucas Erceg, who's a freaking monster. Fortunately, Hunter Harvey is still on the shelf. But the pitching is good enough. His offense has to show up. But then you have some 11-run type games against Philly. So it's a little bit up and down, but the Royals are still plenty in it. All they got to do, wash that one. All right, whatever. Tough series against the Phillies. Season is right now. You play the Guardians. Go win. Go win both games of those doubleheader. Or make sure you're split so then you can win the next 2. You got to win 3 or 4 here. Got to do it. So flush that and get back in and try and go beat the Guardians. The Guardians on the other side, don't let them come into Progressive Field and beat you either. Don't let them take control of the road of the division. God, I'm so excited for this series. All right, let's go. Unless you got anything else?
Nope.
Move to Mets Padres. Mets win 8-3. Another great series, a 4-game set. Mets win 8-3 is a team effort by the Mets offense. Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil both had 3 hits. Iglesias, Winker, Lindor, Taylor, and Vientos all had multiple hits. Vientos even had 3 RBIs. Severino, great again. 5 innings, 1 earned, 5 Ks. Cease allowed a lot of hits. He had 9 hits, but he did go 6 1/3, 2 earned, 7 Ks. Padres win 7-0 in game 2. This was the Joe Musgrove show. And Joe Musgrove owns the New York Mets. Ever since the ear thing, Mets fans remember that very well. In the playoffs, 7 innings, 1 hit, no earned, no walks, 9 Ks to get him in this rotation for San Diego is enormous. Padres obliterated Paul Blackburn, highlighted by a home run by Luis Suarez and Kyle Higashioka. Manny Machado also went 3 for 5 with an RBI as well. Unfortunately, Paul Blackburn, after that start, is going to hit the IL. But Mets did win 7-1 in the next game, and this was a Francisco Lindor show. 2 for 5, 2 jacks, including a grand slam. And David freaking Peterson has been awesome. 7 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned, 2 Ks, ERA down to 2.85. Michael King only allowed 1 earned run and had 7 Ks. There was multiple errors by the Padres. Mets winning an easy one. Game 4, though, maybe the best game of the weekend. Padres win 3-2. JD Martinez and Mark Vientos solo shots to give the Mets a 2-0 lead going into the 8th. But Jurickson Profar, who has been clutch all freaking year, walk-off home run. Or no, excuse me. Clutch 2-run home run to tie it. But I think the rookie of the year, Jackson Merrill, walk-off home run to win it. And Quintana was excellent for the Mets. 6 1/3, 4 hits, no earned, no strikeouts, though. Padres win 3-2. They split the series Padres move to 74-58. Mets move to 68-63.
So I saw our phenomenal social media team put out right before we started recording Jackson Merrill's numbers in the ninth inning this year.
Unbelievable.
The 21-year-old Jackson Merrill is 11 for 32 with a 1202 OPS in the ninth inning. He has 5 ninth inning home runs in 32 at bats, 2 of them walk-off homers. He's 21 years old. He's playing a new position that he has never played before in professional baseball this year. Hey, you're making the team. You were in Double-A last year. Get on a flight, go to Korea, play the Dodgers. This was a season that could have gone sideways in February, and he should win the National League Rookie of the Year.
Jackson Merrill has the 1202 OPS in the ninth inning. Aaron Judge in one of the best seasons of all time is a 1202 OPS right now.
So are you all right? Simplify that. Are you saying he's Aaron Judge in the ninth inning?
You could make that argument. No, it's unbelievable. I mean, he has just been Profar too. I wish we pulled Profar stats in the ninth inning. This Padres team, a year removed from being one of the worst teams in the one-run game. Bad luck, never clutch, never comes up in the big moment, lethargic. To this year, the never say die attitude to the nth degree. This entire Padres team, you better have your bullpen locked down, because if they smell blood late, they're coming after you and they are winning, and it might come from anybody. But the guys who I think has been locked in this year, Merrill and Profar, those two, so much fun for the Padres.
Merrill has the second best OPS in baseball among qualified hitters in the ninth inning at 1202. Who is the only guy better than him?
Is it Profar?
No, it's not Profar. This guy, Merrill, has 36 plate appearances in the ninth inning. He's hitting 344 with 5 homers and a 1202 OPS. The guy ahead of him has 44 plate appearances in the ninth inning. He's hitting 400 with 8 homers and a 1432 OPS in the ninth inning.
Can you give me a hint?
Same division.
Is it like an easy answer?
You're gonna think it's really cool when I say it.
Okay. Just tell me, because I'm
Marte.
Love that. I do think that's really cool.
I knew it.
I do think that's really cool.
I knew you were going to say love that. Yeah.
I do love that. That fires me up. Just more Diamondbacks propaganda. Snakes alive, baby. All right. Let's go to, we got 2 series left. Giants versus Mariners. Battle of the mid, respectfully. Mariners win 6-5 in 10 innings. Giants grab and I had Giants money line, by the way. Screw you, Tyler Rogers. We'll talk about that in a minute. Giants grab an early 3-0 lead on home runs from Lamont Wade and Michael Conforto. Mariners get one back on a Luke Raley home run. Heliot Ramos extends the lead to 5-1 with a home run, and the Giants are cruising. But then Tyler Rogers in his 2.78 ERA comes in. He's as solid as they come. He allows 6 straight hits, 4 runs without getting it out, and the Mariners tie it up. And Alonso Rivas single on the 10th to win it. The Giants going into that game were 50-3 when leading after 7 innings. They are now 50-4. Game 2, of course, the Giants win 4-3. Snell had one of the weirdest outings maybe of all time. But when I say weirdest of all time, I mean kind of standard for him sometimes. 3 innings, no hits, 2 earned, 6 walks, 5 Ks. He walked in 2 runs with the bases loaded. Giants got the lead in the 5th. And then Mike Yastrzemski hits a home run in the 7th to make it 4-2, and they win 4-3. George Kirby was not good again, which is such a crazy sentence. 4 2/3, 9 hits, 3 earned, ERA to 3.48. He's got a 6.52 ERA in August. But we move to game 3. The Mariners need a win here, and they got it. They won 4-3. Heliot Ramos again started the scoring with a 2-run bomb in the first. Only runs that were allowed by Brian Wu, who settled in and was just phenomenal. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, no walks, 7 strikeouts. The Mariners do rally to tie it, then take a 2-run lead in the 6th. Grant McCray homered in the 8th for the Giants. Shout out Grant McCray, who's hitting 306 for them. Unfortunate bad news for the Giants. Robbie Ray left after 3 innings with a hamstring injury. Again, Mariners win 4-3. They win the series. They move to 66 and 65. Giants fall to dead even 66 and 66.
MRI on his hamstring today. He was what, at 62 pitches in the third inning?
Yeah, he's pitching fine.
62 pitches through.
Yeah, but
what?
that's the Robbie Ray experience. He only gave up 1 run.
And that's why I hate the Robbie Rays.
Yeah.
I love that. You just brought up my favorite meme again, the Battle of Mid. I think the Battle of Mid memes are so funny. But yeah, man, I mean, this series was just, you've got pessimism on both sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Both sides like hate this series.
They hate the series. They hate where they're at this season. There's enough to like, hey, Brian Woo's on the mound. I'm gonna watch it, although I'm mad at the Mariners right now. Like San Francisco is, I'm fully immersed in the Tyler Fitzgerald experience, but I hate this team and I hate that they're not a contender. It felt like the most pessimistic series of the weekend. Now, granted, I listened to a lot of it because these are my two favorite radio teams in baseball, essentially. So
it is true. That is, I'm so glad you brought that up, because when I was watching on MLB TV, you can switch like who your broadcast is. And I go to click on, I'm like, oh, fuck, which one?
I know. That's what I did. I was like,
and I will say, did you make a decision on who you picked?
I switched off. So I did 2 Giants, 1 Mariners.
I did all Giants.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. But the Mariners are so good too. But the Giants is arguably my favorite booth in baseball. I think they're so knowledgeable.
And
they never get the moment wrong. They're chill. I'm watching on this Sunday, hearing their voices. They're so good. They're so good.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to move on?
Yeah.
Last series, Astros versus Orioles, a banger of a series between two fantastic teams. Game 1, Astros win 6-0. Spencer freaking Arrighetti. He's either horrible or amazing. And today, he was amazing. 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned, 6 Ks. Corbin Burnes struggles again. 5 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned, 2 Ks. Or just cannot happen for the Orioles right now. Ben Gamel, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. In this economy, in the year of our Lord of 2024, Ben Gamel, shout out Ben Gamel. Game 2, Orioles win 7-5. Big win for them. Astros got a 5-2 lead after 6 innings, highlighted by a Jose Altuve and Jeremy Pena bombs. Orioles get the lead in the 8th on an Anthony Santander grand slam to take the lead. Ramon Arias RBI triple. That inning was the dagger. Hunter Brown was great, though. Wasn't his fault. 6 innings, 1 earned, 6 Ks. ERA to 3.72. Cade Povich, not great. 5 innings, 5 earned, 3 Ks, ERA to 6.10. Not great. Game 3, Orioles win 3-2, though. This is such a good game. Altuve and Pena homered again. Astros had a 2-0 lead going into the bottom of the 6th. Jackson Holiday steps up in a pinch hit roll. Bases loaded. Need a hit here, Jackson. And he delivers. Bases clearing double to give the Orioles the lead. And Albert Suarez again. 5 2/3, 2 earned, 3 Ks, ERA to 3.18. And Framber was not that great. 5 2/3, 6 innings, 3 earned, 8 Ks. I shouldn't have said that. He was really good up until that point against Jackson Holiday, where all those runs came in. So, and now again, the 4th game of the series is Sunday Night Baseball, which I caught the first 2 innings. It was 0-0, and now it's 5-3. So Victor Caratini singled to start the scoring. DeCenzo double to left, scored 2. Ramon Arias 3-run bomb to tie it at 3-3. But then Bregman homered and Yainer Diaz homered. Yainer hit 455. Dean Kramer 6 innings, 3 earned. Yusei Kikuchi 5 2/3, 2 hits, 3 earned. Astros are currently winning 5-3, bottom 7.
That Jackson Holiday moment, dude, like that was electricity
huge.
That I needed so badly.
Yeah. Smooth swing.
Provide that. The thing is, like, you got to remember that there are ebbs and flows to this, and nobody talked about the 1 for 21 stretch that he was on at a certain point.
Well, plenty of people talked about it. People gave up on him after that. Morons.
Did they? I didn't see the people give up on him because he started hot after he got recalled.
No, you should have seen when he got sent down. People were celebrating in the streets.
Oh no, when he got sent down, I understand because that was his first impression and he failed the first impression. But I'm saying he got recalled. He started really hot. Then he got really cold.
Yeah,
And then he delivers that electric moment. Like nobody talked about that second cold spell because
true.
he started hot
Good
after
point.
being recalled. But dude, like this is what this game is, man. People stink sometimes for a week. This is a game built on failure. And the fact that Holiday can provide that electric moment for this team in 2024, where he is not a big part, quote unquote, but a part, he's going to be such a huge piece of the Orioles' future moving forward. But for him to be a productive piece of the Orioles present is so much fun to watch. And that was a hell of a moment this weekend.
So you asked me to check in with you in about a week. It hasn't been quite a week yet. Remember when I gave my Orioles rant? Like, are we a little bit nervous with this rotation and this bullpen? But then, they lose 6-0 behind their ace, Corbin Burns. And I'm ready to say, Jack, start talking about the Orioles. Then they win 2 straight. Now, I know they might lose tonight. I don't know. Maybe somebody gets a big hit after we're done recording, but
Yeah.
I'm not nervous for them because the offense is so good and they like keep winning games because they're the Orioles and they are a very good team objectively. So when again, we have to have context here. When I'm talking about the Orioles in this light, I'm comparing them to the best teams in baseball because you are one of the best teams in baseball.
Right.
If I'm comparing you to someone who's third in the National League Central, yeah, you're way better and I'd talk differently about you. But I'm talking about, are you a little bit nervous about them being a top flight dominant World Series contender right now?
A little bit, yeah. Because Trevor Rogers was optioned and he's not going to be the five that I thought he could be because Chase McDermott is on the AAA IL right now. And Povich just
Not
Povich
ready.
doesn't look, yeah. If you ran Povich out there to start a postseason game, I'm shitting myself. I
Yeah,
don't think you have to because I think you're running out Burns, you're running out Suarez in game 2, and then Dean Kramer and then Cole Irvin. Like 2 through 4, I feel no confidence in. And Burns, I'm not wavering confidence wise. It's Corbin Burns, but he hasn't been the elite of the elite over his last couple of turns. So offensively, I have no doubts. But that's half the game. The other half the game, I'm like, oh, I'm concerned.
You see what you're doing right now, though? This is like the exercise I went through in my own head where I'm
Yeah,
like,
no,
wait, I
and
think I
I'm
don't
there.
like the Orioles.
I asked you to give me a week. I don't not like the Orioles. I just doubt their ability to win a World Series if Albert Suarez is throwing game 2 of the World Series.
That's fair. No, and I totally agree with you. And you're also saying game 2 of the World Series, like, you making
I
the World
doubt their
Series?
ability to win the ALCS if Albert Suarez is throwing game 2 of the ALCS. I think they can win a division series
Like,
because the
imagine going into
offense,
Minute Maid and it's Ronel Blanco versus Cole Irvin.
it's not great. Like you have the disadvantage. Imagine going into Minute Maid and it's Framber Valdez against Corbin Burns. Who has the advantage?
Astros.
That's crazy right now.
The big bad wolf is just sitting in that freaking house or whatever that story is. Doesn't the big bad wolf like blow down the house or whatever?
Yeah,
Or the
yeah.
Orioles are sitting in their comfy little house and you got the big bad wolf just creeping.
Yeah, I think the Orioles
Little
would be Little
piggies.
Red Riding Hood in this case.
No, it's like the little piggies, right? Where
This
like
little pig
they
against the
build like
market.
different houses and like the wolf comes in and blows
Yeah.
them all down, but then they have a brick one and they can't. Like
It
the
was like a
Orioles are not
straw.
in a brick house right now.
They're in the straw house right now, and the
They're in,
wolf might blow it down.
but we'll see. Maybe the offense can come out and I don't even know. Whatever.
Dude, you're a
That'll do
child
it.
of theater. We should know this.
That was the weekend. Jack, do the finger roundup. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed the breakdown from the series that were over this past weekend. And if you did, if you could leave us a 5-star review, whether that be on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, and hit that subscribe button on YouTube for baseball videos for the rest of your goddamn lives. We appreciate everybody. And if you could leave a written review, we'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. That's all for free. And if you want to spend a little bit of money, just a little bit, with the boys over here at JB, some Just Baseball merch. I'm rocking my hat. Jack's rocking nothing because he hates the company. Don't be like Jack. Go check out our merch store in the episode description. Game time, you got tickets. You use it this weekend. $20 off, promo code Just Baseball. Bet MGM, same promo code, $1,500 first bet offer. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow. For Jack McMullen, I am Peter Apple. And with that, thank you, everybody.